It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top defenders in the entire country. He's originally from Chattanooga and obviously had the last 3 years out there at Dayton. Now he's the newest member of Vanderbilt. We'll be using the extra year of eligibility. That's Rodney Chatman. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Can't complain. Kind of take us through how you're feeling. I know we were just talking. You're on campus now, kind of getting to settle in a little bit, but just take us through how you're feeling and how you liking Vanderbilt so far.
I'm loving it so far. It's a great city. A lot of places, a lot of food places. I'm big on food. I like having a good meal. So, that's perfect. I got to meet Stackhouse, Coach Stack, some of the coaching staff. All the players aren't here yet. I got here kind of early, just to get acclimated and just start training and working out. But so far it's been good. I'm just excited for the summer and the season to roll around.
Now we're going through your career a little bit, but obviously this was your second time going through the transfer portal. This one was probably a little bit different. That being obviously you have a lot more people interested in you. Obviously going to high major, and also it's in the middle of a pandemic, so you can't go on visits and all that stuff. But take us to like how much more did you like this process and kind of compare it to times in the transfer portal so far?
Yeah, it was different because of course, you couldn't take any visits. But me personally, I really didn't take any visits. The only visit I took was to Chattanooga, and I committed there. And then when I transferred from Chattanooga, the only visit I took was to Dayton. So I really didn't take a whole lot of official visits anywhere. I kind of just my thing is relationships and genuine trust and just loyalty. So that's where my thing lies at. So just seeing the campus, that's just an addition. But I'm more of a people person. So that kind of what sold me to here too as well. Without taking a visit, I heard a lot of great things about Vanderbilt. Coach Stackhouse. That his name speaks for itself. So
Absolutely. Like I said, we're going to go through your journey now to obviously get to this point of you now becoming one of the lead guards out there at Vanderbilt. So let's head all the way back. You originally were born in Florida, but I know you really created your name for yourself out there in Georgia. I take us to that process of what it was like being born out there and obviously kind of raising up and becoming the hoop person you are now out there in Georgia.
yeah, so I was born in Florida, like you said. Then I moved to Atlanta when I was 2 years old. Raised there. Actually, baseball was my first sport. It was my sport I thought I was wanted to go to the MLB. My mom put me in baseball early. Basketball was just a thing I kind of did. Till my dad came around. Then he came around, he put the ball in my hand a lot more. I started taking basketball serious my ninth grade year in high school. I ended up quitting baseball. I went to Tucker High School. I ended up quitting baseball just to focus on basketball. And, from there, I just elevated each year.
Coming out in Georgia, I know a lot of people know that that's one of the hot spots for basketball. There's always loads of talent out there from top to bottom. There's the elite of the elite. There's a lot of good depth out there. So what was it like basketball? Like growing up in a basketball atmosphere, what was that like?
It was fun in Georgia. Like you said, it's a lot of competitors. It's a lot of people. Swanee. That's a hot spot for tournaments. Just it's just competitive. Like guys just love hooping in Georgia. I don't know. It's a lot of competition. No matter where you go, what high school you go to, what AAU team you play for, you're gonna see somebody that's good. And that was my thing growing up. I never back down from anybody. I always accept a challenge. I just feel like that's what made me better. AAU tournaments in Georgia. You're gonna see somebody that's ranked top 10, top 5. So I just put my focus on just dominating the game on both sides of the basketball. Just being a dog, and that's just what got me to where I'm at.
So when you're going through your high school career, was there like that one guy that you love matching up against? Like if they were on your schedule, that was the guy you wanted to go match up against?
Um, High school. That was a minute ago. I got to think. Alterique Gilbert, that was the one. He went to Miller Grove High School down the street. I went to Lithonia. It was just down the street. I think we played each other in the summer league. We were supposed to play each other at a Christmas tournament, but it ended up getting canceled. So we never got to really match up. But he was always a top guard in Atlanta. He's very good. He still is today. Got a lot of respect for him. That was just one of the guys around my area that I wanted to chase. That I wanted to challenge. So I'll say Alterique Gilbert. And even though we never got to play against each other, then that was just the one I wanted to match up with.
Absolutely. Let's go into your high school career because Obviously, SchuZ got a lot better. Your senior year was by far probably your best season. Kind of just take us through your high school career a little bit, like the ups and downs of it, and ultimately just take us through those 4 years in high school.
Yeah, so my ninth grade year, I went to Tugger High School. I played JV, didn't start. I was always good at basketball. I just never had the physical abilities. I was always small, but I was always smart. I was able to think the game. So I played JV my ninth grade year. 10th grade year, I ended up transferring to Lithonia High School. I played under Coach Corker. I think we went like 12-12 or even on our season. It wasn't a great season. I started off the season not starting, and then midway, I ended up taking our starting point guard's position, and I ended up starting. And then my junior year, our team went like 29-4, 29-5, won 20 games in a row. We was ranked like top 5 in the state. We ended up going to the Elite Eight. I ended up taking my team to the Elite Eight my junior year. And then senior year come around, we went like 29-3, 29-something, 29-5. Had another crazy great year. We ended up going to the Final Four. We lost to Liberty County, Davion Mitchell team. We lost to him. That's also another one I add. Him, Altariq, and Davion Mitchell. Those are two guys that I was looking forward to matching up well. Davion got the best of our team. Of course, they beat us, but those two guys are some dogs coming out of Atlanta. So we ended up going to the Final Four my senior year. We ended up losing. Before that though, like Lithonia it was nothing. Like it wasn't a football school, basketball school. It was nothing. It was just a school, and then people played sports. But I came there with a couple of my friends came that I grew up playing AAU with, grew up staying with. We just decided like we're gonna just make a name for ourselves, like now or never. Like we had aspirations of playing college. I didn't play on the AAU circuit, so I didn't have all the exposure, but high school, it kind of brought attention to my name, to the school name. We had coaches coming in, watching practices, seeing other people, they come see me play, watch our teammates, so it was a great experience. And then, so we were successful my junior and senior year.
Like you said, it's been a long journey. Like you said, you didn't even start off playing on varsity originally. Obviously, work your way to becoming a Division I player and go to Chattanooga for 2 years. Then you move up to Dayton level. Now you're at Vanderbilt. But someone would have told you that, like heading into your freshman season of high school, that you're eventually going to become a D1 player and you eventually work your way up to becoming a guy that's competing for a starting job at Vanderbilt. Could you ever imagine that?
Nah, because like I said, I always wanted to play baseball. That was my thing. Like I was hard on baseball, just to see the contracts they get is crazy. Like that was just where my focus was at. But it was always my dad in my ear, just like saying like you the best, you one of the best guards in Georgia. Like he always instilled that belief in me, encouraged me. But nah, I wouldn't say I would have thought I'd have been this far. But I just kept working though. My mom always told me just take care of your business and business will find you. So like that stuck to me. I just take care of my business, be in the gym, and I grew up idolizing Kobe. So like that's where I feel like most of my mentality comes from. It's hard not to take the things he does on the court. Just his mental aspect is just different from everybody else. It's just that's the piece I took from his game the most. And I just stayed down, stayed working, didn't care what nobody said. And I just love seeing regrets on people's faces who always look past me. And we end up matching up against them. We'll beat their team. I dominate the point guard matchup. So it's always fun to be the underdog, but just seeing regrets on people's faces.
Let's talk about the development of your own personal game, because in today's age, obviously we know the point guard spot, shooting guard spot, it's all mostly focused on scoring. Now, like the elite guys might have some defense and different things added in, but the 95% of more of that is obviously guys that are looking to score at first. Some guys might facilitate, but it's always score first mentality for the majority of elite guards. Your mindset's more different. Like you're one of the most elite guards defensively in the country. You're also a guy that goes down and facilitates at an elite level and still can score it sometimes too, but your main focus is facilitating defense. Just take us through that mentality. Like who ingrained that in you and how did you become that type of player?
So Ray John Rondo was my favorite point guard growing up. And it's kind of weird because Kobe was my favorite player. So the Celtics Lakers days, it was just like a dog fight. And, I just love watching Rondo, his passing abilities. He was a pass first point guard. So I wanted to be like him growing up, and today's game has changed. It's more Steph Curry. So like my little brother, he at his age right now, he shoots way better than me. He has almost the full package. But I always credit to like who you grew up watching. Like you grew up watching Steph Curry, of course you're gonna shoot more threes. So I grew up watching Rondo. So I wanted to pass first, get my teammates involved. Passing was just always fun to me. Like I feel like I can make any pass on the court, like with either hand. So I just pride myself down on that. But now as the game evolved, I understand I have to evolve my game too. And like, don't get me wrong, I can score whenever I want to, but it's just the joy in just passing the ball, seeing my teammates, get a bucket, playing to their strengths. So now it's just focus on putting it all together, both sides of the ball, and that's what my focus is at right now.
That can be difficult for guys because especially last year, you had an outing where you got 21 points against a school like Ole Miss. You guys get the win. Then the game before that, you had 15 points against Mississippi State. And you guys also got a win. And then you obviously go back and you have different games where you have like 10 more assists in a game. So how do you balance that? Like when you start scoring a lot, you say, I could be our go-to scorer. I could do this and we still win. How do you go back to facilitating? Like how do you learn to balance both those roles in a game?
I just go and approach like I'm just a winner. Like I love winning. So like if I score 20 and we win, cool. If I score 20 and we lose, like I'm pissed. Some guys aren't like that. The first thing they want to look at is the box score. But the balance aspect, I just like if you're open, I'm gonna pass you the ball. Like if I'm open, I'm gonna shoot. So it's just kind of just having to feel like, somebody's hot, I want to feed them the ball the whole game. Like, like last year we had Ibby Watson was our shooter. I used to get mad when Ibby didn't shoot the ball. Like I wanted him to shoot every time, just not only because I'm passing him, but he's a great shooter. Like just instilling confidence in people. Just whatever it takes to win. Like if we have two other scorers on our team, like, okay, let me go do something else. Let me lock in defensively, let me spread the ball so everyone's happy, that's just where my mind at is on the balance aspect. Just being an all-around player, that's what I love the most.
So when did you get that mentality? Was that at like what point in your high school or even college career was like when did you really start locking in defensively and also really start really almost mastering the passing aspect?
Defensively, I was just always a kid who was just like tough and rough and just like I like just being the kid. Like, I grew up fighting my cousins, like stuff like that. It's just being around other boys, just being outside, playing outside in Florida, at the courts, we didn't call fouls, like stuff like that, and I take it back, even my AAU practice, we didn't call fouls. It was just like free ball. So, I kind of been like, that was really where I made my first niche. Like playing rec ball younger, I would just be active. I'm great laterally. I have good mobility. Like I also credit it to me, like my hips being so good. I credit it to me being baseball. Like I used to play catcher, being in the position for 3-4 hours, like squatting down, blocking balls left and right. I credit baseball with my abilities to be able to move laterally and be like that on the defensive end. So that's it. It kind of, I've been a defensive player. That's just it's like installed in me. Like I don't go out on the court thinking like, hey, I got to play defense today. It's natural. Like I never think about defense. I never think about what a player is going to do. It's just instincts to me.
Now for you too, like you, besides having made that second year there at Chattanooga when you guys went 10-23, ever since your junior year of high school, you guys have been well over 500. You've only lost about 20 some games. Like you said, that really comes down to your winning mentality. So break that down a little bit more. Like what goes into a winning mentality? How have you been able to go out there and lose under 10 games your final year as a high school? You win 19 games in your freshman season in Chattanooga. Then you come out to Dayton. Obviously, you guys would have made a deep run in the tournament. You guys were 29-2 that year. Last year, you guys were over 500. Like what leads to wins? Like how are you have that winning mentality where your teams go out there and win year in, year out?
Honestly, it's just chemistry. Like you got to actually spend time with your teammates. Like you got to actually genuinely care about your teammates. Like I say, for instance, at Dayton, like we were with each other every day. Like if we weren't at the court, we were with each other in the rooms, going out to eat. Like literally, like we made an effort every day to be with each other, and it just made it fun on the court. Like everybody knows everything about each other, like personally. It's just I feel like chemistry, like just everybody having the same goal, everybody knowing their role, everybody understanding like we all have the same goal, and understanding that winning helps everybody. You know, that was our key. Just so I say the biggest thing is just like chemistry. Like if you don't hang out with your teammates, if you don't care about your teammates, then you really probably don't care about winning. Like, you know, so you always do it for the man to the left or the right of you. So that's just where my every winning season I've had, I can say we spent time with each other almost every day. Even if we just sitting in the room, just cracking jokes all day, you know, just and also having a balance on the team. I feel like, you know, having some people who are outspoken, having some people who relax, I feel like a balance is a great thing too. You don't want too many voices, you know, because that can be too much at times. So you kind of need a balance. You know, I'm kind of the player who's my example would be like on the court. Like I might not say much, but on the court, you're gonna know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like on the court, I talk a lot, but like I'm more relaxed. I'm a relaxed type of person. But it's just like having the best interest in everybody and believing and knowing that if we all locked in on the same goal, which is winning the championship, then we can all accomplish it.
Without that. Well, let's focus on those two final years of high school a little bit more. Like you said, 27-3 your junior season, you then go 26-5 your senior year. And that's both those years you end making all state teams, you get all Georgia selections. Like you obviously really break out the final 2 years of high school. So let's kind of go through the years a little bit more, like finally getting the opportunity to shine, you're on varsity, you finally make that mark for yourself. How big was that for you? Just take us through the final 2 years of high school.
Yeah, so I think my junior year we played. We completed that season. I didn't get any offers during the season, but that summer after my junior season, I picked up my first offer in like the second tournament. I think I got like 4 offers in one day. So after that, it was kind of like, oh wow, like I can really do this. Like I can honestly remember me working out the week before me playing in our tournament. I was just in the gym, like me and my dad, 6:30 a.m. LA Fitness every morning. I think that made a difference for me, just being up with my dad, him being encouraging me, working out. And that weekend, I just killed. Like I killed everyone. End up getting 4 offers, and then that goes by. I think I picked up like 2, 3 more. So I think I picked up like 6, 7 offers in one summer. And then high school season rolled around. It was coaches coming in and out of our school. It was just like almost rare from the school I went to. It was coaches coming to watch us practice, coming to watch us play. So that's really my experience with offers in like college and just high school. I think I committed before my I want to say before my senior season or halfway through. I committed early. Committed to Chattanooga, Coach McCall. I already knew what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I just took a visit there and that's it. And I committed there. And that was just my journey.
Oh, take us through your own mentality, because obviously I don't think too many guys always look up as a dream and say Chattanooga is the main school I want to go to. And obviously you've not made it to the point where at Vanderbilt, like that's one of the high majors that guys might dream of. So what was going through your mind? Like, were you dreaming and were you kind of wanting more of the higher offers? Were you okay just becoming a Division I player? Like, what was going through your mind? Did you feel you're underrated? Like, just what was going through your mind at that point in time?
So I took the reason why I committed there. When I was in my senior year, Chattanooga, they went 29-5. And they had juniors on their team. They had a returning team, so I was gonna come in with a freshman. And the junior point guard, he returned. He came back. He was a senior, Greg Pryor. And I just knew, like, I didn't want to go anywhere. I just was just thrown in the fire. I wanted to go in and learn from somebody. So I knew, like, me having a year to learn from a senior point guard, like that was gonna help me a lot, you know. So I averaged 20 minutes a game my freshman year at Chattanooga. So it was more of a fit and where I can play, you know. So I chose them, you know, hoping since we got some returners and add some freshmen, add some key pieces, you know, we can make another run, you know. But I think it was our preseason scrimmage, our closed scrimmage, the first play of the game, our starting 4-man, he had tore his ACL, like the first play of the game. he ended up tearing his ACL. And I think from there, it kind of hurt us because he was like a great player. His name Chuck Esther. He was a great player, great four-man. And after that, it was kind of like we had to figure out what's next. So that was my mentality going into college. Just going from a team who won the previous year, just learning from all the older guys, and just competing and making my mark.
Now, personally, I'm someone that's not really caring too much about rankings and all that stuff they put out there, but I know as players, like you still see those things. I know you guys still eventually come across you, and obviously any guy would like to have the name you rank, get some stars behind the name. But you obviously didn't have the situation. You're a guy that wasn't ranked. You didn't have stars. You weren't ranked and highly touted and talked about coming out of high school. So was that matter to you at all? And if so, like what kind of chip did that put on your shoulder heading into your college career now?
Nah, it didn't matter because you realize how far I've come. Growing up early, I look back at like guys who are ranked that I play with. Like most of them don't even play in college right now. Like that's how I look at it. Like going back, all the guys who started over me, who played over me, like I look back like now I'm like, dang, none of them play right now. Like I'm the only one playing from the AAU team I was with when I was younger. Like, and they was on the circuit. I'm like, wow, okay. So, but it was kind of like AAU where I knew rankings didn't matter because I went against a lot of guys who were ranked and I got the best of them, like the best of them. So from there, it's just all politics too. It's all about who you know, and some people who get ranked, the people who ranking them don't even see the people play. It's just like word of mouth. So it's just all politics. So, but I know if I take care of my business, work hard in the dark, it'll always shine in the light.
Let's go into that freshman season. Like you said, you guys go 19-12 overall, pretty still solid season for you guys. You end up scoring about 5 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Take us to that freshman year, like the ups and downs of it, just kind of soaking in the first year of college basketball, kind of learning, embracing that. What was that freshman year like?
Yeah, so the summer came in, didn't know what to expect. It was hard. The summer was hard. I was a little guy. I think I came into college when I first stepped on campus, I was 17. That summer I was 17. My birthday in August, so I turned 18 in August. But I went through the whole summer at 17. It was tough, and then my first 2 games was against Tennessee and North Carolina. And North Carolina had Joel Berry that year. Tennessee had, I want to say Jordan Bone. They had a couple guys, but we beat Tennessee the first game of the year. Then we go on the road. We go to play North Carolina. I think at halftime, I think we were tied, like 27-29. We were tied, so we like, whoa, we got a chance. We at Chapel Hill, packed crowd. We like, dang, this is where it's at. We end up losing. They go on a crazy run, and they just end up taking over. And then we go to play Vanderbilt, which is ironic. We go to play Vanderbilt. I think our 3rd or 4th game or 5th game might have been. We end up we like, if we win this game from the year we had last year, we could possibly be ranked. Or the year they had last year, we could possibly be ranked. So it was kind of a lot of pressure going in, to that game. We end up going and we end up losing at the buzzer from Luke Cornett. He had a 3 on us at their place. We end up losing at the buzzer. And I feel like, honestly, from there, I think that's where our season, kind of took a turn, because we knew the magnitude of winning that game, and losing at the buzzer hurts even worse, So after that, we kind of had some ups and downs, and then I just feel like people started playing for their future rather than the moment and for the season. People were trying to get theirs to, go make some money somewhere else, stuff like that. So, I think that was the problem my freshman year.
And that sophomore year gets interesting because you guys have a coaching change. Obviously, Coach Paris comes in then. That's your new coach. And obviously, it always is something that's always up in the air. Sometimes it does work out for guys. Majority of the time, obviously, it's not the right thing because he's not the one that recruited you. So how did you adjust to that? Like, what was your reaction to Coach McCall leaving and being let go? Like, what kind of take us to the whole situation, how you took it in, and how you adjusted to the new coaching staff?
Yeah, so when Coach McCall left, I was kind of hurt. Like, dang, I came committed to you. I played 1 year, then he leaves. And then the coaching change, I actually wanted to leave after my freshman year. I wanted to leave. You know, I talked to my dad. He was like, "Nah, I think you should just stay. I think you should give it a try. You know, at least say you tried. You know."
Mhm.
So you know, Coach Paris came. You know, I played a year under him. You know, he brought a new offense in, the Wisconsin swing offense. You know, it didn't fit my style. You know, so I tried to play the year there, and then it was up in the air. I kind of wanted to stay, and I kind of didn't. You know, but then all the people I came in with, they left. You know, they all transferred. And Nat Dixon, Mikael Foreman's at Cal now. Nat Dixon went to SMU, and I think McKinday he went pro. So you know, all those guys left, and you know, me and my dad talked, and you know, my numbers were like very good that year. You know, I proved a lot. So I decided to transfer after that, and then that's where I found my way at Dayton.
So a couple of games in that was pretty solid season for yourself. Obviously, 13 points a game, like you said, you jumped up massive there. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Also had about a little over steal per game. But you had a couple big games that year. One was your career high at the time, 26 points against ETSU. Take us to that night. Like, what led to that breakout game for you?
It was at ETSU. I don't know. I just got in the mode. Like I don't know. I was in the zone. I was just attacking the whole game. And everything was feeling good. My finishes, my 3-point, it was just all coming together that night. You know, I think I was on a hot streak. I think I had a game where I averaged like 18 points, 7 assists, and like 4 or 5 rebounds. I think it was like 4 or 5 games I did that over. I don't know. I think ETSU was one of those games that was in that span, but I was just in the zone. I was just, you know, just attacking, trusting myself, confidence. You know, and just all the work from that summer, it was paying off. I feel like.
And the other big game you had was a 14 assist game against Jacksonville State. Walk us through that night because obviously guys have to be hitting down the shots too. But for you to have 14 assists, just walk us through that night.
Yeah, I had 14 assists. I had 1 turnover.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy to me. I actually took the what's the thing, the box sheet. I took it home with me after that. Like I had to. You know, I had 10 points, 14 assists, 1 turnover. The 1 turnover, that was the part that really stood out to me. I was like, dang. But yeah, guys was just hitting shots. It was Jacksonville State. We played them earlier in the season. I think they beat us. Guys was just hitting shots. I was just finding guys. You know, it's just as simple as that, really.
And then you put your name in the portal, like you said, you go to Dayton, as we know. But walk us through that portal process because obviously it was much different. At that point in time, you had to go take the redshirt year following that. But you obviously have some schools in the mix for you. So take us to that process and what other schools you heavily were considering, and ultimately why did you choose Dayton over all those schools?
Yeah, so it was honestly out of Dayton and Virginia Tech. I think Coach Buzz Williams was still there. It was out of those two. I took a visit to Dayton, and when I took a visit there, it was like I can't turn this down. Like it was a basketball school. Fans crazy. Best fans in the country. The arena, it was just everything I needed. You know, just to get away from everything and just focus on basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was 4 other transfers that came in with me. You know, so it was just a perfect fit. You know, I was able to play with Jalen Crutcher in the backcourt, me and him. You know, me. So that's really why. You know, I took a visit there. It was amazing on the facilities and just all that, and it just sold me on spot, and I just knew where I wanted to go.
Now, I would say, like I said, that first year you do have to take the redshirt season, and that's the big whole discussion this whole past year now has been why the portal is so hot right now is because guys don't no longer have to sit out one extra year. Kind of walk us through that though. Obviously, I know some guys have said they enjoy that redshirt year, helps develop them, helps them get ready then for when they do get back on the court. Some guys would rather just go right in the court and play. So kind of take us through that. Like, are you in favor of this rule? Did you enjoy having that redshirt year to help you? Like, take us to that, like what your perspective is on that rule change.
So first, I enjoyed it because we had 5 transfers, so it was 5 people sitting out. So you know, if they're on the road, it's 4 other people here. You know, I can see where people say it's tough because some people only have like 1 or 2 transfers, and it's only y'all 2 on campus or 1 person on campus. So it was fun for me. You know, we were able to get in the gym a lot. We were able to play against each other a lot. You know, build that camaraderie. You know, so it was good, but the year for not sitting out, I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it. It is what it is. I mean, it can benefit some people, but some people probably don't see if you don't focus and put the right mindset into that sit out year, then it can really do more harm than help. So we went in with the right approach. We knew like the season, and also the year went like that. It went fast. You know, and being able to watch Obi Toppin too, that would have made it help even better. Having front row seats to his game, basically. So my sit out year was fun. So yeah, it was fun to me.
So obviously, as we didn't know at the time, and you guys didn't clearly know obviously how special that team was going to be, but with you and the other guys sitting out, like you guys had this whole core group forming for what eventually turned into your 29-2 team we're talking about in a second. But you kind of were just sitting back. Obviously, Obi was out there doing his thing that year. You got Jalen, you got Evie, you got Jordy. Like you got this whole core group kind of coming together, building chemistry for what does become that elite team. But it kind of takes us that year. Like, how did you get to know those guys, and how did that chemistry really start forming in that locker room that year?
Before that, when we got there, we started playing, filling each other out. We knew it was gonna be like crazy good. Like it was just no way we couldn't. We just had everything we needed, literally, like from starters to on the bench. We had basically 2 starting fives, really. Mm-hmm. We just all connected. We from the first day we got there, we all just linked up, chilled, made jokes, hung out, just built that relationship, that chemistry, They were just anywhere one person go, you would see 3, 4 other people with them. Like it was just never nobody going anywhere by themselves. So we just all built that relationship. It was easy to come by. We all stayed in the same dorm rooms or complex. Mm-hmm. We all stayed in the same, so it was just easy to see each other. So just building that chemistry, just hanging out with each other every day, playing a video game with each other, talking noise. Just stuff like that. It's simple. You just got to make an effort to do it. I feel like, so that's just where we came in at and just build that chemistry from day one.
Gotta go a little bit deeper about Coach Anthony Grant. Personally, I think he's one of the more underrated coaches out there. He's constantly produced winning teams year in, year out. He's even getting guys to the NBA at the mid-majors. Isn't always the most typical thing. So take us through that. Like, how special is Coach Grant? Just what was it like playing for him?
It was great playing for Coach Grant. He's a guy who he don't embarrass his players on the court. He's more relaxed. But he will get on your line. But he has a good balance to him. He knows when to take it there. He knows when guys need encouragement. He knows when he needs to be mad at the team to show that we need to do better. He's a big numbers guy. I would say like he's big on like DER, OER. Low turnovers. Sharing the ball, playing with each other, just trusting and believing the offense. His defensive schemes, but overall, he put together a great staff too, I would say. That staff there is a great staff, great balance too. Like you had people who are personable, you had people who you can talk to about film, basketball, like anything, So I say he's a great coach to me. That year just speaks for itself. He won National Coach of the Year, coach at his alma mater, so playing for him was fun, I didn't have no regrets on the day.
Let's head into that 29-2 team. And as we just kind of talked about, Coach Grant obviously is the head of this. He's the head coach. And for a team to be that successful, clearly there can't be any chemistry issues within the locker room between players and coaches. Like, he just had to be strong to be able to get through a season like that. So what was the feeling of that season? Like, before any games even got played, you were just on campus chilling, training camp, all that kind of stuff going on. Like, what was the vibe and the chemistry like in that locker room?
It was just fun. Like, like every day you will get a laugh that you almost about to kill yourself. Like, it's like every day. Like, I can't even exaggerate it. Like, we just made it fun. Like, it was just so much fun. Like, that's the best way I could put it, It was fun. And we knew what kind of team we had, like, before anybody else knew, going at it, playing pickup, we just used to go at it, talk mess, compete. Nobody wanted to lose. That was the biggest thing. Like, on either side, nobody wanted to lose. Nobody was going to let, anybody else outwork them, outpunk them, anything. It was just all competitors that were good, and it was just fun. Like that's the word I'll use. Like it was just awesome time for real.
So who are the funny guys? You keep saying obviously that team had a lot of fun. You guys were always laughing. Who were the funny guys in that locker room that year?
Trey Landers, Dwayne Cohill, those two were the ones that kept like us alive. Like just made it the best time ever. Like anytime you see them, you can expect to laugh. Like you never laughed before every time.
Now, I'm someone that's a big advocate for the mid-major schools. I specifically, obviously, I think the A-10, the Mountain West, the West Coast Conference is really the biggest mid-major ones. But when you look at the A-10, there's been a little bit of a run now of these guys that are becoming legit top lottery pick potentials now. Obviously, Obi Toppin, he did it. I think Bones is going to be the next guy that should be able to be a lottery type pick this year. But you guys have Obi, and Obi was a guy who was well known. He had a solid sophomore campaign. Well, obviously, was a solid freshman too, but clearly we know he turned into that junior year player of the year type player, all the stuff he accomplished. How special was he? And like, did you expect him to break out to that caliber in that season last year?
It was crazy. He's a crazy athlete. Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, he would go in the gym with his flip flops on, just go between the legs, and then just like go sit down. Like, he was always dunking every day. Like, he's just and the thing people don't know about him, like he's a competitor. Like, even in conditioning, like he's trying to be first. Like, that's rare. He would like conditioning, he's trying to be first. In practice, sprints, whatever, he's not trying to lose. Like, he's a great competitor too. He's always in the gym. So like nothing he does surprises me because I seen the work he put in. He's a freak athlete and he has great touch with both hands. He good size, smart, his IQ, like he just has it all. And I think him just putting it all together, he actually redshirted too. So he sit out here, he's able to put a lot of work in. And then his first year, he played the same to me. It was his first year. He didn't start actually his freshman year. He didn't start until about midway to the late season. Then he started starting. Then he just carried it on to the next year. And just dominated.
So when you guys were just practicing before the season started, like, did you think he was going to have that type of season? Because in my opinion, he was the best player in the country. And Luka Garza made a strong case. I think he ended up winning the national for a couple of different awards there. But obviously, Obi brought you guys to only 2 losses that year. Obi could score at will. He was very versatile. I think you guys would have had a deep run had there been a tournament. But did you just expect that for him? Did he kind of shock you because of how elite he became? Like, what was your initial thoughts of how good he would have been that year before you guys played games?
Now, like I said, we knew we was gonna be like that. Even in just our pickup games, like he would just do some crazy stuff. He was like, whoa, like you should be in the league right now, dude. Stuff like that, but we just always compete. I would say like our team got the best of Obi. Like other teams couldn't because we knew everything Obi wanted to do. We knew so it was like hard for him in practice. So when the game came, well, it was really hard for everybody because we were all good, all competing. We all knew each other's tendencies, so practices were like hard. Like it was never an easy practice. That's what made the game so easy to us, So I just say it started at practice.
That's kind of a little bit off topic, but obviously you got to go up against Obi. Saw him day in, day out. He became a top 5, top 6, whatever pick. But obviously he has had a lot of the talent in the A-10 the past couple of years. So who else besides Obi would you say was like the next best A-10 player? Like who was the guy you love going up against? Whether it be in your Dayton locker room on another team, like who was that next legit NBA star you kind of saw in the A-10?
I'm gonna go with my boys, Jalen, Crutcher, and Ibi Watson. The year I sat out, me and Jalen, we guarded each other, played each other every practice. We were always on the opposite team. Just him being the offensive player he is, smart, shifty, can shoot the crap out the ball. He had the whole package. Just guarding him every day. I feel like that improved me even more. And even Ibi Watson, like the guy works so hard. Like sometimes, like our coaches had to tell him, like, "Nah, you can't get in the gym today." Like stuff like that. He works so hard. Can shoot the mess out the ball anyway, any catch, anyhow. So I say those two guys, they gonna shock a lot of people.
How about in the A-10 general? Like when you're talking about you being the defensive guy, we know you're going to pick up whoever the best offensive player was night in, night out. Who was that guy you love to go up against? Because you got a nice list to choose from there, but who was like your favorite guys to go up against in the A-10 or maybe even your favorite guy?
Me and Fats Russell had a lot of battles. You know, it was fun going against him. You know, he's a explosive, quick offensive guard. You know, Bones Highland, of course, shoot the crap out of the ball. So I would say the toughest Bones Highland. I would say he got it on the offense end. You know, he's a dog too. You know, he can score the ball. You know, I think he's from Philly or somewhere, Delaware or something like that.
Yeah.
So that speaks for itself. So you know, him, I'll say Bones Highland was the one that honestly gave me the most problems. Just his whole offensive package. You know, he has the counters, the setups, the three ball, the layups. You know, he got a full package. So I'll say Bones Highland.
Absolutely. Well, heading back into that 29-2 season, anyone that's been on a team that clearly wins 95% of your games or higher, know that it's kind of difficult because when you start putting together win streaks and teams start saying you guys ranked in the top five, you guys ranked all the way up there, you guys were going to be a number one seed. Like when people start seeing you guys barely losing games, the pressure starts building up on you guys. You guys get more and more attention. So how do you guys hold that together? How do you guys keep going out there night in, night out and producing every single game?
I just take it back to the chemistry. You know, we were so close knitted. We It's funny because after I think we lost to Colorado at the buzzer, you know, in that locker room, Coach Grant was like, "We don't have to lose another game." And from that point on, we didn't lose another game. So it was just fun. We literally got everybody's best shot. Like it didn't matter who we played, we got everybody's best shot. That's just what made it fun too. You know, we were all good players, all competitors, all competed. You know, no one wanted to lose. You know, no one had a personal agenda. I would say that's what even made it even better. You know, everybody just wanted to win the game at the end of the day and keep our streak alive. You know, so I say it started from the chemistry and just everyone had the same goal. You know, we did a lot of team bonding in the summer too. So I say that helped us a lot through adversity. You know, I say but the St. Louis game, I think we were ranked 13. We were down like probably like 12, 13, 10 points maybe. We were down in the second half. We were like, dang. Then Ibby, Jalen, and Obi just turned it on and just came back. Jalen ended up hitting a game winner. Um, that game was like crazy. That was the one that we knew like, oh yeah, we can win a national championship. Like being down 13 in a hostile environment, um, you know, it could have easily went left, but you know, we stuck with it. You know, we had some pros on our team that just they just carried us to a W that game. So from there on out, it was just like, yeah, we can't be beat. We also had the mindset like, yeah, can't nobody beat us. Like we believed in ourselves. Like that was the most important thing. Like we knew who we were. We knew like what we had. We knew like, you know, and other teams knew too. Like we were watching the warm up line. Other teams just looking at us warm up. We like what y'all doing? So yeah.
And that year was so unique because we had San Diego State out there on the West Coast in the mid-major conference going undefeated up until 19 and something. I'm not sure exactly where it snapped, but I think it even went to the 20s. Auburn, I think, went 17-0 at that point. You guys, after that Colorado loss, didn't have any more losses. So you guys had that big win streak. Like there was so many massive historic win streaks going on that year. And I've heard from some of the other teams, but I haven't heard from the Dayton team yet. So when you guys are on a 15, a 10, and keep going up and higher win streak, like, what's going through you guys' mind? Like, do you guys start saying, "Wow, we can't lose this game. We got 12 straight. We're 11 straight." We're like, what goes through your mind? You guys keep piling up that win streak.
We were just more focused on like locking in, like leading up to the games. Like we were like very focused. Like we took scouting report like very serious. Like we would scout team. We would take it serious, ask questions. You know, whatever needed to be asked, whatever needed to be done, we were just willing to do it. We trusted our coaches a lot too. Like whatever they wanted us to do, we went out there and did it at the highest level. You know, we also had all the pieces. Like anything we needed, we had. Like we needed defense, we had that. We needed scoring, we had that. We needed three ball, we had that. We needed to go inside, we had that. Like we had everything. So I just think it was our mentality. Like we knew what it took to keep our season alive. We knew like if we just went out there and didn't take the scouting report serious, like anybody can beat us. You know, we're getting anybody's best shot. So we just honed in on the little things. I would say in the details, and that's what kept our streak alive.
And the role you play on that team was critical because you were that elite defensive player. Personally, I think you should have easily been on the first team all defensive in the conference. You should have been easily in the combo for player of the year defensive wise too. But you look at some of the guys you locked up. Anthony Edwards, who we now see as a guy that's getting buckets in the NBA level. He was getting buckets in college. You held him to 6 points, the lowest of his season that year. Fats Russell, first team all conference guy, held him to his worst game of the season. The list goes on of guys who did that too. So how did you do that? Like when you go out there, you play a young star and you hold him down under 10, you hold Fats under 10, you hold all these top players. Like how did you do that?
Just my instincts, like I said, like I don't. My focus isn't like, oh, I'm gonna lock this guy up today. It's just I know what I'm capable of. So just being focused on myself, making sure my body's right, making sure I'm healthy, making sure I've got it today. I pride myself on that, just being ready, showing up every day, and just trusting myself, believing my instincts, also following the scouting report, knowing what guys like, their tendencies, and just being a dog, really. Like that's just my mentality. Like I take defense personally. Like I don't care who you are. I don't want you to score on me. Like I'll foul you before you score on me. Like that's just where I take it at. And so I just say my mentality, just taking it personal, like, and I just feel like that fed off on everybody too. Nobody wanted to get scored on. Like we used to say like first person gets scored on, gotta buy everybody like some lunch or something. Like we would do stuff like that, just to make it fun, So I just say that's where it came from.
My last question about that season was obviously Obi. We saw him go to the NBA. He had some flashes of what he could do in the future there for New York. But obviously, it's not necessarily his fault that a guy decided to become an all-star player at his position this year for New York. So he didn't quite have the opportunity that I think he should have had or could have had if he had a different place. But when he does get his opportunity, though, and we started seeing him get more and more minutes, hopefully next year, how special is Obi and what can people expect for him in his sophomore year or just whenever he gets the opportunity in the NBA?
Yeah, I feel like once he get comfortable, he's gonna be he can be an all-star. He can sell tickets. He can score the ball. He can catch lobs. I feel like once he gets the NBA feel to his game, I feel like he'll have a breakout year. Like you said, he's playing in front of behind the Julius Randle and Taj Gibson and all those older guys. So I just feel like he just wait his turn and just keep working. He got there for a reason. It's the reason why they wanted him. So, just to keep going, just stay in the gym, work at it, just trusting and just waiting his turn. I think he's gonna have an all-star year one year.
No doubt. Was heading this last year, and this was obviously a hectic year because of the pandemic. You've had now 4 entire college seasons of it just being typical years like it's always been. Now you have all the mask mandates, you have the testing, you have all this stuff coming into play. And obviously, OB moves on. You lose quite a few players, still have the core group of the backcourt. But just walk us through this year. How did you adjust to the COVID pandemic? How did it personally affect you? I know you also had your injury. Can take us through the ups and downs of this past season?
Yeah, so it was by far the worst season ever. I think we got tested I seen some we got tested probably like 70 times during the season. Like that's crazy. Just waking up every other day just to go get tested at 9 in the morning or something like that. Like I probably didn't get no good sleep probably the whole year. Mentally it was hard, just being in your room on class, like so many distractions around you, waking up for testing, just can't really go out, socialize, you're just from the gym to your room, and it's cold in Dayton, so it's like, it just makes it worse, gray skies, it's like, so it was tough. We also had a lot of younger guys who came in, freshmen. We also had to teach them, so it was just a lot going on. But it's just a learning experience. I took a lot from it. Just being grateful for the season that we had with fans, being grateful for fans. Playing in empty arenas was tough. One year going from playing in 13,000 every night to playing in front of no fans, like that was also tough too. So it was a lot, mentally. But we got past it, we got through it. It was new to everybody, so it's just a learning experience.
As I mentioned, you also had your torn ligament in your right hand. You obviously had a pretty solid start to the season, and then you missed the majority of conference play, come back in February, and obviously try to get your rhythm going again. But you also went on to play about 12 games this past season. So how did that affect you? And like when you did have your injury, did that help at all in terms of testing? Did you have to get tested daily or every other day or whatever? Or how did that affect you when you had your injury?
Yeah, I had to get tested still the same. Nothing really changed. So I couldn't play, but that's about it, really.
How did you stay locked in? Because, like I said, you had a pretty solid run. Like I said, we talked about earlier, the Ole Miss games, the Mississippi State games, then you get hurt right as conference play gets going. How did you end up bouncing back and able to finish off the year a little bit there?
It was tough. Like I was on a roll. Like I was feeling myself. The game was becoming easy. I was more focused mentally than I was anything else. I was tapping in on my mental side, and it helped me a lot. And when I got hurt, I was mad. I ended up finishing the game. I didn't know I hurt my thumb until after I tried to take a shower. I tried to turn the shower knob, and I couldn't turn it. And I knew then like something was wrong. We ended up getting X-rays. I think the next day, came back torn ligament. I had to have surgery. Then trying to come, like I couldn't. It was my right hand too, so I couldn't like form shoot. I couldn't dribble, so I was just really just out, like just couldn't do nothing. Couldn't get better or anything. So I was really just working out with my left hand, but I couldn't do that till all the swelling went down. So it was kind of like it was a lot. And I tried to. I wouldn't say I rushed back, but like I think I had like a week to work out before I actually played. So it was tough. I wish I would have never got hurt. I don't know how things would be right now, but I'm grateful though. Being at Vanderbilt, last shot. Being at a great school, being able to receive my master's. So it's God's plan.
Absolutely, man. Well, a couple guys I want to touch up on before heading to Vanderbilt was, like you said, there were quite a few young guys going to make the future Dayton now, and as well as this new recruiting class they have coming in now. But one of those guys reclassified midseason, and Mustafa, who played a big role for you guys, came in and started majority of the games, came off the bench a little bit there, here and there. But how bright is his future, and what can Dayton fans expect from him going forward?
You can expect a lot from him. He's talented. He can shoot the crap out the ball. He's smart, IQ. He has a handle to him. I just say he's confident. That's the biggest thing. He's confident in himself. He didn't come over scared. Like he didn't come over timid. He came over trying to take somebody's starting position. And we respected him for that. He didn't act like he didn't want to step on anybody's toes. He came in and made an impact. He had some breakout games. His freshman year. So people can expect a lot. Also Kobe Brea. That's another guy who I can say people can expect a lot from too. They has a lot of young pieces who has a lot of bright upside. Zemi Mukeji, RJ Blakeney. He's a, RJ. RJ is a freak athlete. He got every finish in this game. He's a dog too. RJ is different. I call him the baby Kawhi. Got long arms and jump, good on the defensive end. He got it all. So they got a lot of good pieces. So if they put it all together, they're gonna have a great year.
Absolutely. Well, you look back now, your entire Dayton career, the 29-2 team, last year's hectic season. What's your favorite game? Like your favorite memory from your Dayton career, the favorite game? What is it?
St. Louis game when Jalen hit the game winner. That's my favorite one. Just the joy in all our faces, like we knew we had something on the line. It was in a hostile environment. They wanted to see us lose. Our rank was on the line. Our streak was on the line. We were down 13, second half, like 8 minutes left. It was just a lot. It was a lot of nerves. Just to see all those fans go home sad. That was fun. Just spoiling the party. Then just going in the locker room, we all threw water on Jalen, so it was just a fun experience. I say that was the best game that I've had in my career there.
Absolutely. Well, let's head into this whole transfer portal process because, as we know, the NCAA gives everyone extra eligibility. Last year didn't necessarily count. So you use that, and it's going to be a 6th year in college now. And just as we know, you head out to Vanderbilt now. Walk us through the time of the portal. Like, what was this portal process like? And was there any other schools that were heavily involved in you that you also were heavily considering?
Yeah, there was a lot of schools hit me up, but I kind of knew where I wanted to go. I didn't want to go because if anything, if I was to go low major or mid major, I would just stay at Dayton. So like it was out of Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. I chose Vanderbilt because of Coach Stackhouse. They have a 1-year master's program. I can't. It's just like hard to turn down for me. So I chose Vanderbilt. I knew what I wanted. So like I've been through it, which is my second time. So I knew how to maneuver through it. I knew who were BSing, who was, all about me, so I just took it with an approach where it was just business. Like, it's all business to me now, so like that's where my decision came from.
This is looking interesting for Vanderbilt because, as we know, they haven't been the best in the recent years. Coach Stackhouse has come in now, and obviously he landed quite a few big transfers. He has some big recruits coming in. Obviously, Shane's the big one recently. And also has guys like Noah and Lee Dort coming in the future. But just walk us through Coach Stackhouse. Like, how is he putting together this class? How is he able to win you and Liam and Taryn and everyone else over? Like, what is it about him that really attracted you to them?
He's a great guy. From the conversation I had with him so far, he cares. He's about relationships and networking, and just like developing people into men. Just to be able to show people how to be a pro. He was a pro himself. Showing how to be a pro. Just things like that. They've gotten people drafted in the previous years. So just trusting him. Trusting his experience. And also like just anything is possible. You just have to believe. That's the biggest thing. So I believe in him. I feel like we are going to turn things around here. This year. So you can expect big things from us. Just so that's where I'm at right now with Coach Stack.
This is going to be the SEC, and I know so many people out there say, well, the numbers aren't going to correlate over. It's a much different conference. Personally, I think if you're in a conference like you just came from, there's not too much different talent-wise. Might be a little bit of an upgrade, but I think the A-10 is an elite conference. Plus, like we talked about too, you've had big games against Ole Miss. You've had big games against Georgia's, the Mississippi States. Like, you've done it already against many of these schools. So how do you feel you're going to translate? Like, how do you feel your game is going to translate now to the SEC?
I don't even like really think about stuff like that. I just put the work in and just believe in myself. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. Like no matter where you at, like if you come over with an approach, like I'm coming from, say, Chattanooga to Vanderbilt, you already doubting yourself. It's like I just look at it as just basketball. It's just be a dog. It's just be what got you here. Just as long as you put the work in, you'll be fine anywhere. That's where I take pride at. And I think it's all gonna work out.
Now, you haven't got to meet all the guys yet, as we talked about earlier, but you guys have some solid pieces. Liam, Shane, yourself, Taryn. You guys have some other big guys returning, some guys coming in otherwise. I think there's still going to be some moves to come too. But out of what you see on paper so far, what you've seen in film-wise, just from what Coach Stackhouse is even telling you, how good can this Vanderbilt team and how good can this team be, and what can people expect from this Vanderbilt team?
Yeah, I think people can expect, like last year they could score with anybody. That scoring wasn't a problem. I think on the defensive end, that's where, that's what's gonna win us a lot of games this year, So Coach Stackhouse emphasis, is to just be better on the defensive end. We know we can score with anybody. We have shooters, we have, all the offensive abilities, it's just on that defensive end, just bringing me in, just having that experience and just trying to bring that competitive spirit on the defensive end, I think that'll elevate everybody.
So who are you the most excited to play? Is there an SEC team you're super excited to go up against this year?
I mean, let me see. Oh, Kentucky, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kentucky. I think that's everybody's dream, either play there or play against them, So I'll say Kentucky. I think that's going to be a fun game, in that environment, having fans back this year. So I think it's going to be rocking in there, and I'll say Kentucky.
I'm not sure if it's going to line up exactly, but I know you guys could also possibly play Georgia this upcoming year, going back home. What would that game be like if you guys get to go play home again?
It'll be fun. A lot of family can come, a lot of friends can come. It's gonna be fun. Seeing them again, playing them again. So it's gonna be fun being back home, allowing my family to come, my friends to come. Because I was at Dayton the past couple of years. That's a 7-hour drive from home. And that's just right. So Georgia right up the street. So playing a lot of teams in the South actually gonna be a good thing. My mom loved that. Playing in the South a lot, she can drive right up. So yeah.
So what will you bring to Vanderbilt? Give us everything you're going to bring to this team, and what fans can kind of expect from you this year?
I will be bringing, competitive edge, dog mentality, mama mentality, a winning mentality, the most important thing. I just want to win. Just bringing that edge, bringing that physicality or whatever you want to call it. Just bringing all the little stuff, intangibles that can't be taught but can be felt. Stuff like that. So they can expect a lot of some good things from us. Not to finish last. That's our goal. Is to compete for a championship. That's what we're gonna go for.
Absolutely, man. Well, a couple more things before I let you go. One thing I was like wrapping up discussing is building a legacy for yourself. And obviously you have 5 of your college years done now. You have one final one remaining. But when this whole career does come to a close for you in terms of basketball, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered for just my mentality, just being a winner. I played my role wherever I needed to. I did what it takes to win. Off the court, I would say just being a role model. Just being inspiring to others who aren't ranked right now and that's in high school, starting later. That is possible. It's just work, and just believe in yourself. Have that confidence. Don't ever let nobody say that you can't do it. So just having that confidence, and being inspiring to people who think they can't, hopefully they see this, that like you can do it,
Couldn't agree more, man. I know you also believe as a kind of take us to your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
Yeah. So I grew up, my mom worked at a church, so I was at church every Sunday. I grew up Christian family. I would say God is like everything. God already has a plan, as long as we take care of our business, as long as we do the right things, as long as we, respect others, treat people how you want to be treated, so like that's where I'm at with my faith, just believing, that's just my biggest thing. Like you got to believe. Can't believe you won't succeed, so.
Amen, man. Well, my final thing for you, give Vanderbilt fans your 3 biggest goals you have set for your Vanderbilt season out there.
3 biggest goals, win the SEC championship, make it to the NCAA tournament, and what else? I want to say a good one. And expect for this to be the turnaround year.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the big move once again. I appreciate you taking time to come on today, and I'm excited to see what God's got next for you, man.
Yep, I appreciate it. You too, my dog.
Of course, man. You're always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right, God bless you too.